Welcome to Inside Racing. The 10-gallon Stetson is usually associated with cowboys, but Max Crockett is anything but that. He is a horseman and one of extraordinary talent. Max has broken in yearlings for some of the biggest names in the business for more than 4 decades, and the man under the hat has an incredible story to tell. The sound of clattering hooves around the streets of Randwick must have been music to your ears when you were growing up there, watching all those beautiful thoroughbreds, and you fell in love with them at a very early age.
Yeah, I loved hearing the horses go up the road, John. I used to live near the stables and hear them go every morning down the Randwick, click-clack, you know. And then I just thought, well, I'll go out and get a job in one of these stables when I get a bit older, but my mother wouldn't let me. I was a bit young. So I used to sneak out. The closest stable was Reggie Harris.
Yeah.
Who was a pretty good Randwick trainer for a little battler fellow. He didn't have a lot of horses, but he won a lot of races. And I sneak around there, and his boys would put me on a pony called Billy. No bridle, no saddle, and they'd all laugh and let him go because they knew he'd run to the end of the lane and turn around and come back because they sneaked the feed in and the pony had seen that he'd go 100 yards up the lane and then knew I had no control of him and swing around, come back.
Yeah.
Another time there, I don't know how this will come out on the telly, John, but I stole a horse. It was a 5-year-old stallion.
Did a bit of rustling early in life,
Yeah, but I didn't realise how bad this horse was. But
yeah.
Today, when I think about it, if a horse doesn't think you're going to do anything to upset it or hurt it, you're not going to retaliate to you much anyway. So
Yeah.
I walked in with a lead that long and a head collar and put it on Lourdes.
Yeah.
And the little sisters of the poor had ponies on tie-ups up the road, and I took him up there and given him a pick. About 10 minutes or so, might have been a bit longer. The police arrived and fire engine arrived and the police arrived and Reggie Harris was with the police. Someone stole his best racehorse. Was me.
What age are you at this time?
I was only about 6.
Yeah.
He gave me
So you had no fear of this stallion?
No, because I used to go in the stables every afternoon and morning. Every time my mother sent me to the shop or to get a loaf of bread, I'd run around the stables, you know.
Yeah.
I knew all the boys there, like older than me. They were some were apprentice jockeys and left school. And Mickey Spencer was there, a bloke we used to call the tracker, and he was the foreman. They were always putting me on horses bareback in boxes or playing jokes with me, you know, trying to frighten me, do things and doing those sort of things. But I enjoyed every minute of it. And then years later, a mate of mine started a riding school there.
That's Bruce Carnes.
Bruce Carnes.
He took over Reg Harris's stables.
That's him.
Yep.
And then I used to go and muck out boxes, and before doing that, he used to adjust ponies and all that for elite people like doctors and lawyers' daughters and sons from Double Bay or Rose Bay and that. So I used to go over and do the stable work with him every early morning when I got about 12. And then he taught me to ride while I was, in the meantime, he taught me to ride and taught me how to use my hands just like pony club and all that. And he also trained a few trotters, and I used to get a saddle horse and give his slow morning trotters lead both sides and canter around Centennial Park, trotting all the way with 2 trotters.
You finally decided you wanted to be a horsebreaker, and you went to work for a man called Stuart Bathurst, who was an institution in the Randwick area back then.
Yep.
You were there 3 years.
Yeah, about 3 years with Stewie. He used to mount them up and all that. And I used to ride them. I would be the first bloke to ride them. Rode a lot of horses for Stewie. And Stewie didn't have this method of mouthing horses that I learned later from Harry Meyer.
You spent 7 years with Harry Meyer, and to this day, when you speak of his ability and his talents with horses, you seem to be in awe of the man. He was a great horseman.
Yeah, one of the best, John. He wouldn't leave a horse till it was right. He'd mouth it, side rein it, he'd do all things, collar rope him.
Yeah.
He would work on a horse. If he had 5 other horses to do, he would not leave that horse to run and do the other 5 and take a shortcut.
No.
He'd just say, mate, I'm staying here, that's it. We're staying here to finish this horse. I could ride horses good too, John, but horses bucked a little bit, but he also showed me when I was riding these horses how they mouthed them and side reined them. Told me how to use my hands to pull a horse out of buck and pull it that way or that way, turn it in there like that and hold it there. Sometimes he'd tell me, pull that horse up, you're not rodeo riding today. Because I always like them to sneak a bit of a buck into us, you know. He'd make you sit there. If you smoked, he'd make you sit there for 10 minutes and have a smoke. Let the horse forget about bucking and then walk it off again.
Yeah.
I could always ride, but I said, Harry taught me all the finer arts and helped me when I got going with bad horses.
During your time with Harry, you met another legendary horseman, a man called Jim Wilton.
Yep.
An absolute horse whisperer.
He was a freak, John, even with dogs. Do anything with a dog, do anything with a horse. And I don't think Harry mind me saying, I do think Harry used to bring Jim when we had, a big bunch of horses for Tommy Smith. And he'd bring Jim out to help him mouth them up, and then he'd have guys like me and Robin Yates and a couple of other fellas. We'd ride them when Jimmy and Harry mouthed them. But Jimmy showed Harry to the side rein. He taught Harry to side rein the horses instead of rein driving them. And that would helped a lot of us. And it was better. It's the best mouthing method that I've seen. You got more control. They don't cut up in the mouth when you drive them, like the kicking at the reins, and because I've tried them all.
Now, Max, during those years, you somehow found the time to do the rodeo circuit, and we've got photos here to prove it.
Yeah, well,
now,
Robin,
you absolutely loved a bucking bronc.
Yeah, I did. And, I rode a few. I only won two rodeos, but then I placed at Mount Isa and a couple of other big rodeos, only in the second division. But I went through it quick, and I was riding the horses. I was riding the horses in those rodeos that went into the open bronc rides later with the big boys on them. And I rode a couple of Cloncurry one year and scored both times. I got 2 top scores.
Max, it wouldn't have been a complete surprise had you chosen a life away from horses, because your dad, your late dad Alec, died as a result of a kick from a horse.
Yeah, well, it got infection after it. They say the kick didn't kill him, it was the infection what killed him later.
Yeah. How old were you then?
I think I was only about 9. I still knew him because he was going away a lot at the time, you know, and I was too young to go with him.
You rode a bit of track work at Randwick in those early days, and you made a great mate of a man called Jack Thompson.
Yep.
One of the best jockeys ever produced in Australia. You rode work with Tomo.
Yep.
He taught you how to use a pad.
Yeah, and how to put my irons up and how to put a bridge on a horse, and don't take your bridge too quick. Just take it back there, son. Don't panic. Don't run up near his ears or grab him. You think you want to pull him back, do you want to go? Taught me how to take a bridge on a horse in a pad. And in those days we rode longer in pads too, John, to what they do today.
Yeah.
And I think actually our way was safer. I don't think as many fellas were falling off, but he taught me how to ride in the pad with me legs and how to bend me back and how to hold a horse what pulled a bit without fighting with it. And he'd ride beside me, Jack.
Harry Meyer surprised everybody when he decided to leave Sydney and take on a new job in the country areas, leaving a young Max Crockett at a loose end. Did you go to work for somebody else, or was this the time in life to forge your own career? You decided to put up your own shingle, Max Crockett Horsebreaker.
Yeah, exactly right, John. But what happened, Tommy Smith approached me after he said, Harry's leaving, he's going to Mudgee. Anyway, I said, well, what do you want to do, boss? He said, I'm going to get another old man down there to run the business, but I want you to do the riding and do the work with the breakers. And I said, I'll think about it. In 1 week, the January sales were on. And I think it was the second time the night sales were on. Might have been the third.
Yeah, and you're thinking,
And I used
geez,
to
with a bit of luck, I might get 5 or 6 yearlings out of this sale to break in.
Well, I used to parade all the yearlings for English. In those days, they didn't have everyone leading their own.
Yeah.
Sometimes I let 100 in a day or a night and still took bids at the same time. And I used to do all that. Anyway, Freddie Allsop bought a couple and he said Light Praise was one of them. Freddie Allsop said, I'm going to take the risk, son. You can break them in now. Harry's going, because I used to ride all his horses first up. Johnny Page come. He said, Harry's going. I bought 5 yearlings. You can break them all in. Neville Begg had about 6, but Neville Begg also broke in for a lot of breeders. They used to send them down.
Yeah.
Neville Begg said, if Harry's going and you're not getting tangled up with Tommy, you can do all my horses. Well, that's how it all started.
Yeah. So how many yearlings did you finish up with out of that first sale?
I think 86.
Goodness me. Flying start.
None of Smiths.
Several leading trainers were very loyal to you over a long period of years. None more so than Neville Begg. He patronised your business for many, many years.
Yeah, true, John. And sometimes I get a bit sad when I think about what Neville done for me, but never mind. I broke in for him from the day he started training until he left to go to Hong Kong. I still broke horses in over there for him. And when I started off in business, I had a few slow payers. But I used to have good boys and good wages, and you got to pay your wages and that. And even before the horse were breaking in, if I was running short, I'd ring up Neville, say, come and get a cheque, fix it up, keep your boys happy and all this.
Yeah, really.
That's how Neville looked after me.
We should mention at this point that Max Crockett should have owned, or at least part-owned, the great horse Ming Dynasty.
Yep.
You had a bit of bad luck with this one.
My mate, Jack Barriston, he prepared him for the sale. And well, because he worked for Lloyd Foster. And I would always break it in for Lloyd, and he liked him. And he's walking him round the ring where I used to lead him round at Inglis's, and he walked past and said, Max, he bid on this. It was 2,000, I think. So I put one bid in. Anyway, I thought it went up to 6 or 7. I didn't take no more. And he said, put another one in. And I said, Jack, if it was a filly, I would. I don't want a colt. And we left it at that.
He went on to win $500,000 more than 25 years ago. 2 Australian Cups, 2 Caulfield Cups, an AJC Metropolitan. Wonderful old horse.
I just wonder when you said that, John, would he have won that if I'd have trained him? I don't know. But I'll tell you what, I broke him in and pre-trained him twice. Broke him in, educated him, pre-trained him.
Well, Lloyd Foster offered you a job in Mudgee. Big decision for you at the time. No regrets?
I'd go all over it again. I got on pretty good with Lloyd. He trained a lot of winners for him, John. But I don't know how many, but I've trained a lot on country tracks and Sydney tracks.
Your training career began in the early 1980s. Lloyd did give you some terrific opportunities. You got to train a mare called Seeker's Gold.
Very good galloper, John. But a temperament beater. But I don't think she was very well broken in America. She was supposed to be broken in America. I don't think, when they said she was broken in, I think they've just slipped her off a pony and let it go gallop and get off, because that's all it knew, was either go full bore or don't go at all.
You've trained about 500 winners, Max, or not far short of it. You've had a terrific run on the Country Cup circuit. And the Scone Cup is one you hold near and dear, because you won one of your Scone Cups on the old track and the next one on the new track.
Yeah, 2 years later on the new track. And Matthew Cole rode Cliffhanger to win the one on White Park, the last one. The last one they held there, and they all reckon Lee Freeman's got one, you won't beat this, and it's going to be odds on you, wasting your time. We got to 3 to 1 our horse, and it got up. And then I had a horse called
Zulu Chief.
Yeah, he won the second one on the new track.
2 Dubbo Cups, 2 Orange Cups, 2 Mudgee Cups, 3 Gulgong Cups.
Yeah.
You fancy a bush meeting, don't you?
It's 3 Geary cups.
Yeah.
Those times they're only worth egg cups, but a couple of them, but the Dubbo cup wasn't too bad, and the scone cups were good. I get a lot of kick out of the Mudgee cups. I won the Gooree Cup. I think I won the first Gooree Cup they had.
Max, you live in Mudgee now. You actually bought a house there. You train on the Mudgee racecourse, and you work a team of 20, 25.
I've got about 12 at the moment, and my son's got 2. So that's 14. We work about 14 race horses. Then I break in a few horses for...
That was my next question, Max. You're still breaking young ones in?
Yeah, I break in not a lot as I used to, not as many. But because I've been good mates with Les Bridge for years, I break in a lot of horses for him over the years. He got a very good client, and we had a talk one day, Les, would I be interested in breaking in the ladies' horses? I said, by all means, I'll do them. Her name was Kim Harding. She was on the New South Wales Racing Board. She's probably going to be back on something else later on, I don't know. But anyway, Kim Harding sent me a few horses that Les is finding hard for him to win in Sydney. And I've had a bit of fun with a few of them.
Well, you mentioned your son Cameron, Max. He's now 26 years of age. You've been his principal teacher. He could break a horse in from a very early age.
Yeah, Johnny started off before he was 20 riding them for me and riding first uppers for me in the yards. And Harry gave him, in his spare time, Harry gave him a lot of tips about how to turn them, side rein them, and we got him going pretty good. And I haven't directly handed the reins of Gooree to him, but after this year, I've left a lot in his control with Gooree horses. And I think he's going very well with them. I'm very happy with what he does. Harry was very happy with what he does. But sometimes, like father and son, they might think they know a bit more. He's just got to, every now and then, take a bit more notice to me. But I think the way he's going, Gooree will let him take over either next year or the year after. I'll be still there to help him out of trouble if he gets in any, or give him advice.
Yep.
And Mr. Quecko like that.
He's also got a trainer's licence.
Yeah, he had a very good... He got a horse called A.U. Shaw. He won his first 2 straight with him. It was his first 2 runners in a race. Then he won 3 out of 5 with him in a second and a third. And I think he's a horse he's going to have a bit of fun with. I've learned to train horses through Tommy Smith and Neville Begg and Bart, and I've put a lot together for what I've seen through all of them, and he's the same with me. He feeds his horses well, very conscientious. Another good thing, he's lucky he can ride and work himself too, which is a big help today.
Your wife, Cheryl, has been a pretty proficient horsewoman herself.
Outstanding, John. Like she's carried me through, and good times, bad times, and always there for feed-ups, always there if vets are coming if I'm at Gooree, or always at my stables if I go to Gooree breaking in, and the vet's got to come and do something, or a blacksmith, she goes back, does it, organises it, does all the feeding for me, feed up.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have done all what I'm doing unless she was there to back me.
And she can ride a horse too.
Oh, my word. She was a champion lady rider for years and years all around New South Wales country shows, and champion lady rider in Brisbane. She in Sydney, I don't think it's ever been done before, won 5 side saddle rides straight for 5 years. She's a very good rider. She had lovely hands too.
Max, you rarely appear on camera or in press photographs without your trademark Stetson. Now, it took me 10 minutes to feel as though I was talking to Max Crockett when we started this interview, but now I'm getting used to you without the Stetson. But for those who aren't, I think you better bung it on. Let's see the real Max Crockett.
Well, here we go, John.
There he is.
I've been wearing it for
There
a long
he is.
time.
How long?
Ever since I was 14, I think.
Yep. How did that start?
I just started from me being wanting to be a cowboy and riding horses, and then when I did tangle up with Jimmy Walton, he said you always give a horse something to recognise you by, do something good with him today or tomorrow, and he knows you by your hat. The next day you come back to gear him up or do something, you can have confidence in you. You gave him a lamb or he recognised you by something. It's better than, because they have harder time for different people, but with the hat you don't hurt them, they know you. I've had them rip my hat off and play with it. When I was scratching their backs, when I've been mouthing them up, things like that. See, when I started wearing a hat, John, from the time I was about 14 or something to 20 or even close to 30, if you walked around Randwick or Sydney with a big hat and you were away from your stable, you used to get a lot of mugs. You'd say to you, oh, look at him, here comes Texas Morton or Tom Mix and all this, you know. You're out blowing horns and you wear it in the pub and a bloke would grab it off your head and throw it up the wall and all these sort of things, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, today, since all this cancer thing, I don't care how big your hat is or what you do or what you see. You never see the young generation today having a shot at people for wearing a hat.
No, it's all changed.
It's all changed. You know, you can wear the biggest hat ever now, mate, and no one will say nothing.
You've been breaking horses in for 35 years or more. You're around them every waking moment. I can't believe that you've escaped injury.
I don't think it's anything I've done any cleverer than anyone else. I just think I have been very careful. I don't take risks. I've got a very good sense of reading a horse to know if it's going to kick or strike before it does. A lot of people have told me that he knows what that horse is going to do before it's done, which it just comes with experience. And don't rush. But I think it's like anything else, John. I think someone up there looks after you. See, a lot of people just get accident prone, you know, and even if they don't do nothing wrong. I've had a few near misses, don't worry about that.
You've got a great girl working for you in the stable too, your daughter Yasmin.
Yep. She's a very good worker. She's always on time. She loves horses, knows horses, and does a very good job for me, John.
It's been a long and wonderful journey. So much has happened to you since the day the coppers turned up to apprehend you when you pinched Reg Harris's horse and took it up to the Sacred Heart Church.
Yeah, well, I'd probably do it again. He called me Treacle Fingers after that. He waited till about 5 years later when I got a bit older and he saw me around the stable. He said, watch out for him, he's got Treacle Fingers. He'll pinch anything what moves. Oh, really? But after that, I was his mates for years. I used to go and break a couple in for him then, you know.
Do you have any accurate estimate of how many yearlings you've broken in?
A mate of mine reckons I could have done close to 5,000 or 6,000 or maybe more. He reckons over all the years what I've been doing. Done.
And you do it all again?
I do it all over again. And even all the people I've met everyone. They've all begged Bart Cummings, all the foisters. I've met lawyers, doctors, underworld criminals and everything. And they've all been good to me.
There must be one regret. Is there a single regret?
In what way?
Is there anything you'd like to have another shot at?
In the racing game? Oh, I don't know, John, I suppose. See, I got a... when you've got a name as a horsebreaker like I have, the racing game yourself is a kangaroo court, really. Because everyone knows, all the big people know. I've always been branded as a good horsebreaker. But when I've trained the horses, I've always had horses to train that were problem horses. Or say 9 out of 10 of them.
Yeah.
They're either a bit mad in the barriers or a bit mad somewhere or bolt or...
And this is why you were giving them to train.
That's why I was giving them to train, you know. But I accepted it because they say, well, Max, he's a horseman. Yeah. Horsebreaker, and they say he's a good horseman. Yeah. So you can't have it both ways.
No.
You know what I mean?
One day, just once, you'd like somebody to give you a good horse with no problems.
Yeah, just a nice couple of good horses and not too many, just so I can spend a bit of time with them and win a few races. That's it. That's all I like to do, you know, because I'll be no good even trying to be a big trainer today, John, because I'm getting too old and I've had too many injuries. That's why I'm going to give up the breaking in. I get a bit of arthritis and that, and I'm on the way to 70. I just got to make it.